three-time Pro Bowler, 15-year NFL vet, one of the most explosive receivers ever to play the game, DeSean Jackson. Good morning.
Great morning. Where the donuts at?
I was told that you were potentially going to come in studio with some donuts, some bagels. What up?
Man, tell them don't get my hopes up. They telling me things that you hear. That's what I heard you was giving to me. I thought they was gonna be at my front door.
I'm just gonna text you next time and I'll show up. I do have a drink, so cheers to you on this divisional round eve. You played for two teams. I want to get into it, but first, I heard a little something about you and little somebody who I love doing a podcast together. What's up? Tell me everything.
Yeah, me and my boy LeSean McCoy, man. You know what's crazy? Me and McCoy have been going back and forth on this idea for the past 2 years, and finally we kind of been sitting and brainstorming. We're gonna call it the 25-10 show, man. Me and LeSean McCoy, the Shady and the DJax show. You know, we're gonna hype it up, but it's really a authentic space, very different, but yet very similar. You know, Shady's. It's hard to say anything to Shady. First and foremost, everybody that knows Shady, you can't win an argument with him. I remember the first time we ever had a disagreement. It was over a video game, Madden. And it was actually his rookie year and my second year in the league, and just going back and forth. But Shady's a very good a friend of mine. He's actually on the Fox show, and his articulate insight on football, and obviously my authenticity. We're just kind of coming together, making it a safe space, and it's culture, entertainment, not only just sports. I mean, we're dipping into every layer of podcast, but it's exciting, man. We're starting to look it up. I mean, starting to start it. Probably right before Super Bowl, so we're excited about that.
Oh, DeSean, who's going to win more arguments? Like, who won that first Madden argument?
Man, that I ain't gonna lie. It's not too many things I will allow somebody to win over, but I don't see how he has it in him to argue so much. I'm like, bro, you got it, bro. I'm like, Shady, cool. You got it. You got it, bro. I don't got all that arguing in me. But, no, honestly, man, I definitely, I'm excited about this space. This is something, obviously, we both did I Am Athlete, for a little bit with Brandon Marshall. So we was able to kind of fill each other out, and we work great together in that space. So, like I said, I'm very excited about that.
Now, I got questions. Why is it 25-10, not 10-25?
Honestly, I feel like 25-10 kind of just flows a little better. You know what I'm saying? It ain't one or the other, but 25-10, I feel like it kind of flew a little better. So, yeah, look at you. You want to start shit.
Wait, what if people think it's LeSean McCoy and Braden Mann, the Eagles punter, that are doing a podcast together? Because he wears number 10.
What's in that drink over there? What that gave you?
Well, I know it's something you've been thinking about for a long time, and just cheers to you. That's what that drink is for, because I think that's amazing. And two guys who are outspoken, very connected to the game as it exists now, talking about the game will be really, really fun. So I'm excited about it. Let's give people a little sample of what's going to go on this weekend and the kind of takes that you have. Listen, cheers to you again. You believed in your boy, C.J. Stroud. You said zero playoff experience. Who cares? You picked him to upset this Browns team and that top defense. This week, he's got the rested, healthy one-seed Ravens. I'm hearing reports in Rappaport saying Mark Andrews unlikely to play. So we should get that out there as we're starting to talk about this game. How can C.J. pull off a win against your former squad? Can he?
Tough one. That's a tough intro to come in. I got to talk about C.J. Stroud and the Ravens. Honestly, C.J. Stroud, man, I said everything he was going to do. And that's one game I predicted it. I don't know how many people really thought I was telling the truth, or any somewhat of like, oh, he's going to get that done, right? Because people are like, what are you talking about? How is he going to get that done? So for me, I'm just excited. You know why? Because he's going into Baltimore, underdog, and he got everything riding against him. I mean, he shot for the roof. He can't really go too much farther. But guess what? I don't think he's going to do it this week. I don't know. It's going to be a tough one.
So are you picking your Ravens, Lamar Jackson, 1-3 in the playoffs? Big game for him. I
know. 1-3 in the playoffs is tough. Lamar Jackson is having a hands down one of the best years. Not the Super Bowl, the MVP season he's had in 2018, 2019, whatever year that was. I think he's able to come back this year and really show everybody that I got the contract I deserved. I've been playing lights out ball. He got a lot of people to throw the ball to and help him out. Even with Mark Andrews not out there, I think Isaiah's been playing Likely's been playing some great ball. I think, he distributes the ball. He gets the ball where he needs to go to. And I think Lamar Jackson just shows everybody, I got the contract I deserve, and this is my year. I'm still taking him to win the Super Bowl. I'm still doing it. I know y'all might think I'm crazy, but I'm still taking Lamar to win the Super Bowl.
No, I want it to happen. And I think it's, in a way, bigger than him. I think it's, in a way, showing that he's just an asymmetrical guy. He does his own thing. He doesn't have representation, and he still pulled in that $250 million somehow. People don't like to see people do it a little bit differently. And so I think it's bigger than that. How can you not root for that?
I mean, all odds against him. You know what I'm saying? I feel like he's in a position to make it happen. He got the receivers. He got the Odells, of the world. And I think, him coming out there this year, he proved to everybody, he always gets hurt. He can't play through a whole season. So this year was one of them years, like all the naysayers, everything you say. I mean, I'm going over the odds right now, and I feel like he's in a position to do it. He had Todd Monken come in there and help him out a lot, and I really think sky's the limit for him. But C.J. Stroud, I think he has his battle. It's tough for him this year. I mean, this week.
Yeah.
And the first game of the season. And then, we know it was his first game that he lost to Baltimore, but I think he's able, he's put some good ball together ahead of him all year. And I think it's going to be closer than people think. What's the spread? It's a 9.5. I think Baltimore covers this one. It's a pretty good one for him.
But it doesn't take anything away from C.J. Stroud and what he was able to do this season, which I love. Your other former squad, Tampa Bay. You got some grizzled veterans. You got your Levante Davids. You got your Mike Evans, who never quite gets the respect for some weird reason after 1,000-yard season. They got to go to, I think, the toughest place to play in the NFL. Not Arrowhead, not Cold Buffalo. It's Detroit with that fan base on Sunday. When you think about this game from the vantage point of the Buccaneers up against this Lions squad, where does your head go? What matchup are you looking at?
It's a great question. I'll look at the defense of the Lions. I think they're playing some great ball. They got CD back, and not C-Deuce back in the secondary. They're flying around. They're playing at home. I mean, my boy Jeff Goff is playing lights out right now. Got my boy Amaral playing some great ball too. So I just like the matchup of the offense for Baker Mayfield. I want to see what he's able to do in Detroit. I mean, I think they'll probably have Eminem and all these dudes back out to give them some swag. But I like that matchup from the offensive side from the Buccaneers into the defensive side of the Lions. I want to see how that's going to play out. But overall, I got the Lions winning this. The Lions turned around some great football within the past years, and I like the Lions in this game.
Which quarterback do you trust more, Jared Goff or Baker Mayfield?
Another great question. You popping them out today.
Listen, off the dome. Go for it.
I would have to go with. I'm gonna have to go with Jeff. I'm gonna have to go with Goff. I'm gonna have to go with Goff. The reason why, I mean, as everybody saw, he took the Rams to the Super Bowl a few years back, and that was a heck of a year. Even though they lost to the Patriots, and that was like 3-13, he didn't really do too much in that Super Bowl game. But at least he's shown that he's able to take a team to the promised land, even though he didn't win it. But I think right now he's more trustable. He's more reliable. Baker Mayfield, this is one of the best years I've seen Baker Mayfield put together. He's doing some great things over there with that offense. But if I had to pick one, I'm taking my boy Goff.
Who do you think on that team, from your time that you spent there with the Buccaneers and just knowing the team, watching them now, who doesn't get enough love on that team for being the reason they're here today?
On the Buccaneers?
Is it Bowles? Is it Evans? Underrated always? Like, is there a guy that makes the team tick? It's kind of crazy that Brady left and they're here with Baker, who was thrown away. But you look at the Patriots and they're a wreck. So is it who deserves some love on a Friday?
Who deserves some love on a Friday? I mean, I think Todd Bowles always gets the credit. I mean, I feel he's a great defensive mind coach. I mean, him taking over after Bruce Arians, stepped down. I don't think he doesn't get enough love because I think he's very respected. But honestly, if I'm gonna have to pick one guy, I think Chris Godwin. Chris Godwin, he's like he's like the quiet guy, but he shows up. Third down, tough third down. He's gonna make the tough catches. I mean, I think, you know, Mike Evans obviously is a superstar, and, you know, what he's done over his career, he gets credit. Does he get as much credit I think he deserves? No. But if I had to pick one person, I think it would be Chris Godwin, because he's always going to show up. He's always going to make the tough catch. You know, he's one of them gritty guys, nit-gritty guys. You know, he's going to go down in the box and block guys for the running back. So, yeah, shout out my boy Chris Godwin, man. He was actually a rookie when they drafted him. He was a rookie and I was there. So, you know, he's been doing great things.
You mentioned CJGJ. I love him. I think he was missing. I think the Eagles miss him. He likes to talk. If you were to give him advice on how to Martian Lattimore Mike Evans, how to get to him, what would you tell him?
Mike Evans, my dog, man. I don't want to give no advice to nobody. You know, I respect both of them, but you know, if anything, if I could give you anything, man, just go out there and be yourself, man. Fly around, you know, hit guys, you know, put some fear in people's heart. But you know, Mike Evans is a big dude, so I don't know if you're gonna be able to fear him, and he's kind of a little crazy too. Mike Evans, he's a little, he don't got it all, but I'm looking forward to that.
Him and Lattimore are always my favorite matchup. Just those two going back and forth when it used to go down. I used to love that. Okay, Packers Niners. Everybody's, you know, heavily favored Niners. We love that. Is there any way they lose this game to the Packers?
I'm gonna speak a little bit, you know, because I'm kind of very disappointed in the Cowboys. We talked last week, and I was high on the Cowboys. When I'm talking about highly, I put some funds to them, and we lost. So for me, I didn't even see it coming last week. I don't know what the heck happened, but let's rewind a little bit. Okay. The Cowboys are who we think they are. They're not a playoff team. They have a curse on them, and every time they have this great season, it's always, oh, this the year. And then they get to the playoffs and people poop their pants. So neither to say, I just had to get that off my chest because I was high on them and, you know, I lost. So I was very mad about that. But this week, I don't see how the 49ers could lose. I don't. I mean, top to bottom, offense, defense, Christian McCaffrey, Purdy, Trent. I mean, we can go on and on. Debo, saying all these guys. But one thing I will say, when I was watching last week's game, I saw Love. I said, Jordan Love, he gave me resemblance of, and I know I'm pushing it. Don't call me crazy, but I know I'm pushing it. But he showed me resemblance of a guy that used to wear number 12 for the Green Bay Packers. So I don't know how they can get it done, but if they can get it done, I won't be surprised because that boy Jordan Love is playing lights out football. Their defense is playing great. They're flying around. I'm excited to see this game right here. Don't be surprised if you see an upset. I don't think it will happen.
Okay,
but
tell me how that upset could happen. Because last week, you know, the Cowboy. I mean, we'll get back to the Cowboy. By the way, let's just. We're talking like when you say you put some funds. Are we talking like a Toyota Corolla? Are we talking like a used car? Like like a Tesla? Like what kind of funds do we?
Some bands. We're just gonna call it some band. We're gonna call it some band. Some bands. Some bands. So.
Like a Red Ryder Huffy? Like are we talking like a car? Like five? Like
it can get a car. It can get a car.
Oh my God.
Not nothing crazy. Not no crazy car. Maybe a Toyota Corolla, maybe something.
Yeah, a little Honda Civic.
Yeah, 2021. Yeah, exactly.
When's the last time you were in a Honda Civic? DeSean.
Ooh, it's been a while, man. Maybe back in high school.
If you could pick your first guest, it has to be a current player that was in the wild card round, or maybe in the divisional round. Your first guest for you and LaShawn on 25 and 10. Who would you pick? Dak Prescott, maybe from last week to talk to him about your Honda Civic. Who would you pick?
Yeah, that can make it on. You talking about as a guest to come on the show?
Yeah, like who would be your dream pick for your first show?
Oh, my dream pick. It had to be somebody that was in last week's wild card. Or are you just saying in general?
I'm just effing around.
Honestly, I would like. I'm gonna go somewhere that you probably wouldn't even think. I'm gonna go Denzel Washington.
Okay. No, I put out on Twitter, give me questions for DeSean Jackson, and I got like 300 responses. 75 of them were, what's his favorite Denzel movie? I swear to God, what's your favorite Denzel movie?
Well, that's crazy. So I would probably say like a Training Day, man. You know, Training Day. I grew up on Training Day. You know, just the way he played, and I mean, he's played in some big time roles. But Training Day, I sit back sometimes and just turn Training Day on. That movie with Snoop in there, and man, just them going through the streets of LA and just hardcore to how he was to his partner. I mean, I just love it. Like, man, here, try this, man. You gonna do it today.
But
So
who would win in a fight, though? The role he plays in Training Day or Frank Lucas, my man?
Frank Lucas was tough. Oh yeah, Frank Lucas, yeah, the American gangster. Yeah, you can't beat that, man. Like I say, it's so many different roles, but I'm an LA guy, and Training Day was right here in my home, so
yeah.
I'm a big fan on Training Day. But yeah, Denzel Washington. But going back a little bit,
go ahead.
You said how, yeah, because you said how are the Green Bay Packers going to pull this off? I said I think that they will win as far as the 49ers, but the way he played last week, if he can pull off another ditto game from last week into how they beat the Cowboys, they dismantled the Cowboys. Let's just be real. They went into Jerry's world, Americans team, where no one didn't believe in them and just pushed guys out the way. So just the physical nature, how Jordan Love stayed back and just distribute the ball to his guys. I mean, come on. I mean, if you go do the same thing in San Francisco, I just said don't be surprised. It's going to be a far shot. But the way they showed last week, I think it might be a possibility. So that might be, out of any game, that might be my upset game I'm going to choose this week.
How big of a deal is it with what you've seen that Christian Watson is back? Jordan Love's been doing all of this, a playoff game every week to get into the dance, and now he's got this big receiver who sort of changes things offensively.
Man, Christian Watson, he's been doing his thing. I definitely took a liking to the guy. What was it? I think it was last year, the year before, when he had like 4 touchdowns in his first game.
It was the Patriots game. There was a Patriots. Him and Aaron Rodgers were like struggling, and then it was at home Patriots early season,
game.
week 4 or 5, and he had 3 touchdowns. It was crazy, and then he took off. But he's been injured.
So maybe the Cowboy game is the game I was thinking about when he's just dropping all the passes. But he came back and he was like making all these crazy catches. And that's how I got the attention on him. So this year, I mean, for him to come back in the lineup and obviously, be a spark to that offense is great. Aaron Jones is playing lights out ball. So I'm just really here for this game. Trent Williams is a great friend of mine. And I heard you talking about him a little bit in the past segment, but 49ers, there's no way they get a bye and they come off this and lose this game, because if they do that, you're not gonna hear the end of that. So, like I said, I like the 49ers. I think they'll win. I think it'll be closer than a 9.5 or 10-point spread. They might win by a field goal or maybe like a touchdown or like 6 points, somewhere in that range.
Who you got? Don't make LaShawn mad now. Who you got? Bills, Chiefs. I guess he played for both, so go for it.
Yeah, I got my boy Sean McDermott. I got my boy Andy Reid.
How does this go?
I think Josh Allen is playing a little better than Patrick Mahomes of late. Patrick Mahomes of late been playing pretty good. He's turned it around. He's been giving the ball to his receivers and distributing the ball well. If I had to pick one in Buffalo, I'm taking the Bills. Kansas City. I mean, honestly, Patrick Mahomes hasn't lost. He hasn't lost in the divisional round playoff in the past 5. I mean, he hasn't lost. I don't see one L on his resume.
He's on the road.
First game on the road, that's true. But if we're going off past history in his past 5-6 years, he hasn't lost one game. But me personally, I'm going to take the Buffalo Bills. I think the environment switches, the home field advantage switches. I think Josh Allen, Stephon Diggs playing lights out. I'm taking the Bills, even though it's going to be hard because, Andy Reid, I love you. Got a better relationship than I got with you than Sean McDermott, but they're in Buffalo, and I think they're going to do it.
A lot of people think you're just waiting to see who the Super Bowl teams are, and you're going to join one of them.
Yeah, they're going to sign me. I just had to work out for one team. I can't tell you guys, but I'm going to get signed in the Super Bowl.
Give me a hint. Give me something. Ravens? Ravens?
I just messaged you. I ain't going to no dang team, man. I'm chilling. I told you, man.
I know. You got 25 and 10.
Yeah, feet kicked up. Money's good. We not struggling for money, but I do got to make up that bet I just lost. God dang it.
Okay, let's get to this. This is all over Twitter. It's the biggest thing, and you are the perfect person to get the real stuff from. RG3, Jay Gruden. Beefing. It started with Jay Gruden tweeting, he was watching that Eagles game, and he said, if I ever put a quarterback through what Philly's putting Jalen through, I apologize. Pick up a blitz. RG3 cleverly responds with this photo, like, say what? Excuse me. Now it's gotten dirty because RG3 is talking about him on the podcast. They're talking about, let's take a listen to RG3.
Jay Gruden went to a press conference and he undressed me at that press conference in a way that a coach should never undress his starting quarterback. It was after a game, and I said in the press conference that the best players in the NFL have the guys around them play at an extremely high level. No one is out there doing it on their own. Now, the media pundits and everyone took that and said RG3 threw his teammates under the bus. And I had to eat that for a long time because Jay didn't back me in the media the next day. He doubled down on it and actually picked me apart in the media. But what people don't know is that the only reason I went to that press conference and said what I said to challenge my teammates through that press conference was because Jay Gruden asked me to do that.
What do you think?
Heated. I do remember that vaguely. I do remember that. I can't remember exactly what game it was, but I do remember the comment he said, and I do remember he got a lot of the scrutiny from the, I wouldn't say the team, because when quarterbacks go in to their press conferences, we don't really kind of keep up with that. Like when guys have interviews, the only time you really hear that is when things get thumbnailed or, things keep getting rolled back and forth. So for us, I remember it was like he had like a one-on-one meeting with Jay Gruden, and basically they talked about whatever they talked about. And I remember RG3 kind of came out and said he was like kind of disappointed that he made him kind of go and basically address it. And throughout that time, as a quarterback, you have to take the role, you have to take the fall, you have to take everything, because guess why? Because the quarterback is the face of the team. He gets the big money and those type of things. So going into the media to say whatever he said and addressed it as a coach, you kind of have to listen to what your coach said, unless you're going to take the stance where I don't care what you said and, your word is my word. But that goes further and deep until now you have issues in your locker room. You have issues with other players. You have players looking at the quarterback or looking at the coach. So you're looking for somebody to kind of clean up the mess, nevertheless. So for me, they going crazy. This media going back and forth, and one person saying stuff, and now RG3 is kind of addressing the situation. It's kind of messy, guys, man. Come on, man. Let's kind of clean it up. But in particular, they feel how they feel, and RG3 heard what he heard, and I guess he, feels the need to kind of clean it up because he did get addressed, and now he's able to talk about it on his own platform without getting fined, without getting benched. So, he's going to, that's his per take on that situation. That's just how I feel on that.
What do you remember about the team meeting?
I honestly vaguely just remember because it kind of was just brought up. I was in 2014. I was there.
No, I know.
I definitely was.
Were you in that team meeting?
I think I was. Yeah. Unless I just skipped the meeting, but I don't think I did that because I was the team guy. But no, I was in the meeting, and like I said, it was so long ago. It was 10 years ago, so I can't sit here and act like I remember everything that was said. But like I said, vaguely I do remember. But I think it was just addressed. I think Jay Gruden came in because Jay Gruden was actually a very, personal guy with the team. He was a player coach guy. So guys could talk to him. Like I used to have a great relationship with him. I don't know if you maybe pull it up next time I come on. But we was at practice one time and I pinched his nipple just playing around with him. And there's a picture of it. But yeah, Jay Gruden's he's a good dude. But yeah,
okay, hold on. Are you in this situation with this beef? You know what RG3 was as a quarterback in that era, the injuries, the Jay Gruden of it all, this situation that's being aired out, maybe for good, maybe they can reconcile at the end. I don't know. I don't super care. But are you team Jay or are you team RG3 with this beef?
You want me to pick a side?
I do, yeah.
I don't do well with beefs and picking sides. Okay. I don't like the beef. You know what I'm saying? I don't want to be here for the messiness. What I will say, I think RG3 has a point to kind of, speak for himself. He wasn't really able to speak for himself the way he wanted to at the time being, because once again, he would have probably got fined. He would have got benched. And this is around the time when RG3 did have a few injuries. This is around the time Kirk Cousins did, was named the starter in the midst of the season. So I think this is his time to really be able to give his truths of the matter. So, if you're going to take it, I think, RG3 has the right to say what he says, and I feel like it's valid. It's
well said. And I don't know, we'll never know what RG3 would have done if you had pinched him.
Nothing, no.
Last one for you. I got to ask you because I'm from Chicago. Greg Roman interviewing as the Bears offensive coordinator.
Yeah, I don't see you liking this. I mean, you can't even get it all the way out.
I don't know what to make of it. He got a lot of criticism in Baltimore when you were there. Was it a good fit for the Bears?
Yeah, who's the quarterback?
Is it Justin Fields? Does it work?
It's not. I don't think it's Justin Fields. Is it Justin Fields? Is he still there? I think he said he wanted to. Didn't he say his goodbyes?
Let's say if it is Justin Fields. If it is Justin Fields, is Greg Roman a good match?
I don't like it. Not for Justin Fields. I don't like it. No disrespect to Greg Roman. I think his offensive style, his offensive fit, I don't think it fits Justin Fields. The reason why, because the success they had in Baltimore when Lamar Jackson was, the quarterback, it was more a run fit. It was more of a structure of a 12 personnel. 12 personnel is 2-3 tight ends, 1 or 2 receivers. And I just don't see that fitting Justin Fields. Justin Fields needs more of a spread open offense. He needs to be able to, play action. He needs to be able to RPO. And I don't quite see him. We got to get Justin Fields a little more help, man. I think he's a heck of a player, man. And I think, over the past 4 or 5 years, he hasn't been able to, get a guy to come in there and really help him flourish as far as the offense. So, Greg Roman, I know you're a Bears fan, but I don't quite see that merging together. I'm sorry.
It's well said, and you say it respectfully, and you say it from your perspective, which I appreciate. You'll hear more of that on 25 and 10 with LaShawn McCoy, Shady, and DJax. You mentioned the Cowboys. We went over it. I don't want to bring up any of that, but we're talking Justin Fields. Should he be the quarterback? I would love your perspective on Dak Prescott, because there's a contract extension. You got Jerry. I don't know how many cracks he's got at this thing. There were talks before the Packer game that the number for Dak would be record-breaking, as it should be. It's the market. I'm sure you agree with me. Every player should get paid as much as they can. Should the Cowboys be hesitant with Dak in giving him a big deal right now?
Honestly, it depends on what you're shooting for. If you're shooting for another 12-5, 11-6 season, 10-7 season, make it to the playoffs and be at home after the first week or two, I mean, yeah, so be it. Go ahead. I think I'll applaud you for it and tell you good job. But if I know all the friends I have, the whole world, America's team, Jerry, if we're talking about the Cowboys that everybody is, oh my God, this is the year. I don't know if that's the direction. I honestly don't know. And the reason why I say this, because in that game, I'm sitting there looking at CeeDee Lamb and I'm looking at Dak Prescott, and the energy they had throughout the whole season wasn't there. It was like somebody came and just aired him out. It was like took all the air, took all the swagger. And I'm looking at him like, it was one play where he misled him. Dak threw the pass and he misled him. And Dak's like, you're supposed to stop. You're supposed to stay back. And I'm like, I didn't see that throughout the year. I didn't see that not one time. And we get to the playoffs and it's like, what's that happened? So I think, honestly, if we're going to be real, the Dallas Cowboys, let's just be real. I don't even think it's Dak Prescott. As much as his record is not showing good in the playoffs, we can even go back to Tony Romo. They have a curse. The Cowboys have a curse. The new era Cowboys, they're not the 90s Cowboys anymore. They have a curse, and something needs a dramatic change. I don't even think it's just Dak. And that's just my personality, and that's my personal reasons.
It's a great opinion, and it's said by a man who, I'm looking up these Honda Civics. 25K is a band, 100 or 1,000? I don't even know.
No. You got to go to like a 2010, 2012. Not a new one, not a brand new one, not 25K. No.
I'm so glad. Go have fun on FanDuel Sportsbook with that, trying to make it up this week. We appreciate you for keeping it real as always. Donuts, bagels, drinks with Deshaun Jackson, hopefully in person sometime soon.